Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Power on. Board functioning at 100%. Microphone detected. Storage accessible and ready to receive content. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Spectrum Talks.
Welcome back to Spectrum Talks. Today we have Haley in here. Haley is new as a coach, as a teacher, as a wonderful person here at On the Avenue. And yeah, she's just working with the guys and making a difference in their lives. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Dieter. I'm excited to be here. I prefer more so the title of learning. I don't know exactly what I'm teaching, but I love being here with the guys.
And isn't that the truth? I mean, I'm learning daily from the guys, people who we assume have learning disabilities. Next thing you know, just without knowing it, are teaching us, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Exactly. I had no idea what I was getting into when I met Tom, and we just sort of got in a conversation about this place, and I winded up here, but literally, this place has blown me away, and I get so excited to come in here every day.
Yeah, Tom's an amazing Pied Piper, as I call him, because he'll just meet random people, and in 5 minutes, he knows their soul, and if they've got a good soul, he's like, hey, you're coming with me, and then all of a sudden, we're all on a journey together with him, and he's an amazing man, and he has created an amazing place, so...
He's got a way.
Yeah. So On the Avenue basically is a place where we can bring people with learning disabilities and actually people of any place in life. And, we just all kind of build community together. We teach one another different things. We teach life skills. We teach, physical skills in terms of computers and even physical skills. We do a little bit of exercise in the morning. So, yeah, and I'm with you. I can't wait to come to work in the morning, and there's certain days when certain students are here, and I'm just like, oh yeah, hot dog, so-and-so's there today. I can't wait to hang out with them. So
I know.
And it's amazing how blessed I feel, So, and
That's
you've been
so
amazing.
sweet.
I mean, you haven't been here that long, but just a little bit of work I've seen with you, with the guys, has been amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I love it. I love being here. I'm always talking about it with my friends and my family. I've always got the best stories to tell. And it's awesome to actually have a place to look forward to, like you said. But
so have you worked with many people with being on the spectrum, or?
I haven't really. I don't have a ton of experience with that. Really, I guess the first time I really got to experience that was in high school. We had a club back in I went to Pope High School in Marietta, Georgia, and a couple of my friends started this club called Friendship Club, and on Wednesdays we'd kind of all hang out after school and play basketball or make tie-dye t-shirts or have just kind of crafts and food and whatnot, and that was super fun. And I mean, I don't know, I enjoyed that, but then it was mostly, I guess, the summer going into college when I nannied for twins, and one of the twins had autism, and he was nonverbal. And so Jonah and I really had a connection. And throughout the summer, it was a bit difficult because I didn't realize, I guess I just wasn't very educated with people with disabilities at all. And I guess I realized I really empathized with the mother, because whenever we were in public settings and Jonah would have episodes, or I guess kind of reacted to circumstances and had kind of emotional breakdowns in public, people reacted very not so kindly to me and would say things like, oh, keep your child under control, or do this, and why would you ever bring him in public? Why would you do this? And I would look at them and think, oh my goodness, what in the world? I can't believe that this is how they would treat me if I were his mom, or if this were their child. Why wouldn't they extend empathy to the situation? Or I guess it really opened my eyes to this matter, and to this child who had such a difficulty really trying to express his ideas and emotions because he couldn't talk, and I knew that he was trying to communicate through his body and through other avenues. And I really felt as if we did end up developing a really strong connection throughout the 3 months that I spent every day with him and his sister. And we would go to the pool and we would cook and we would do pretty much every fun thing under the sun, just like any normal kid would. And it was an interesting dynamic for sure. And I really grew a strong love for them. And they ended up moving to California, and he started to, I remember his mom moved out there because she was wanting to pursue other avenues of education for them, and specifically for Jonah to heal, or I guess get better. And he got to experience medical marijuana, and through that helped with his autism and some other foundations out there similar to On the Avenue, I guess. And one day he called me several months later and actually said my name on the phone.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
It was so crazy. I remember I was in tears, and it just really, really touched me. And from that day on, I guess autism has really had a big place in my heart. But I never knew that it would kind of come out again 4 years later. I guess I did. I was very involved at the Ideal program for about a year, my freshman year, until
one of the local colleges that has a program called the Ideal program.
Yes, Lipscomb University. I was involved with that, which was an awesome program, until I got wrapped up with some other internships and didn't have as much time for that, unfortunately. But I was really excited to be involved with it in the time that I did. But I had no idea that I would end up here, and I absolutely love it here.
And it's kind of cool because we have a few citizens who actually were part of the Ideal program.
Yeah.
And one of them in particular knew you ahead of time. So he felt like he was the big man on campus when we announced you were showing up, because he already knew you. So he was all proud when you walked through the door. So that was a cool moment to experience and watch.
He's so awesome. It was really, really cool. This place totally rocks. Every day is such a joy. And these guys have already meant so much to me, being here in such little time and building these connections and getting to know each of them individually. They all have such passions and are all so skillful and have such beautiful minds and hearts and big dreams and desires, and are not held down in any way.
Yeah, and it's cool because, so many times I keep telling them, we neurotypicals love putting things in boxes a lot just because it's easier when we don't want to deal with something, and I think, the whole world of being on the spectrum gets put into a box that covers a lot of different things, and a lot of times we don't want to deal with it, and at the end of the day, it's just people wanting to, we all put our pants on. I use the word they, I shouldn't be using the word, we all put our pants on the same way, and we all want to love, and we all want to laugh, and we all want to communicate. And back to your point of communication, I'm seeing that some of the guys, while they're not nonverbal, they don't like talking as much. And, is that a scenario because they just, socially awkward? Who knows? But I am finding that, initially I just assumed that they weren't thinking, they weren't doing, they just, that was my stupidity. When I started getting to know the guys and started asking questions, I realized that it was easier for them to write stuff down. So there's times when I'm like, hey guys, tell me a story. And some of the guys, I can't get them to shut up. The other guys, I'm like, hey, go grab a pen and paper and just do your thing. Next thing you know, I'm getting 3 pages that make me cry because it's so perfectly written and so eloquently, expressed. And I'm like, this guy writes and speaks better than I do, So I think understanding and identifying, each individual, what their input and their how they export stuff is crucial to understanding how to help them grow to find their best means,
Totally.
And so, I haven't dealt with anybody who was totally nonverbal, but just the limited stuff. I can see that you figured out a way to communicate with your person, and it was non-traditional, but you guys ended up having a shorthand that worked. and then your relationship could grow. His trust in you grew instantly. He had a friend that he was comfortable being around you. So yeah, those are awesome moments for us being in those scenarios, and I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah. So what else? You're getting your master's now, or are you still?
I am currently in undergrad still. I'm
Okay.
finishing up my senior year at Lipscomb University. I'm studying graphic design, but I've got no idea what I'll head into after this. I've got tons of passions and
And try them all. I always tell the youngins, try it all. Don't just assume you're going to be one thing, because you're probably going to hate the one thing and end up being something else. So just try a little bit of everything. Over time, you'll be great at one thing and good at a bunch of other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely have a big heart, which is a great start in anything to be successful, I think, and you've got ears to listen with and eyes to see with, and, you're not self-centered. And I think that's problem, back to the statement about the mother. I mean, we've become such an empathetic society. We're just all about ourselves. And it's like, was that person really being inconvenienced in that grocery store just because a kid was being allowed, and it's like, it's sad when we get to the point where we're just so inconvenienced by a little bit of noise from a person that we don't know, who actually was, trying to express themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the only, so it's sad that we're at that point in life, but hopefully, and that's one of the points here on the Avenue. We really try to, point of hopefully of this little podcast we're developing, let people understand and learn more about people on the spectrum, or just people in general. It's like, hey, we're all different. We all think differently, but we all are the same in the same breath, So, yeah. So anyways, let's not make this too long. I think this is a good jumping off point. Thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll probably have you on 100 more times before it's all over with. Thanks for listening to Spectrum Talks.